within the confines of the Style Boutique. So I'm talking about a group share. If this is one-on-one, of course, it's a less formal share than this. But because you're speaking in front of 4 or 6 or 8 people, you don't really know what their hot button is. You kind of want to float enough things out there that it's going to resonate. Someone's going to ping on at least one thing that you say. When you're one-on-one, you have a more intimate relationship. You know them better. It's easier to sift through these things and maybe present them with 3 or 4 things that you think might best resonate with them. Let me give you a little secret. Their 3 or 4 are probably not your 3 or 4 reasons, right? So we really have to get out of the way in recruiting and not make it about us. So your goal here is really to resonate with the group of people in front of you, and you're flying blind a little bit. So here's the reasons that people join. And it's really important in a group share that you're hitting all of these, or you end up with a lopsided team. I say lopsided, and my husband teases me. That's a real Southernism, I guess. But you end up with a team that's all one type of person because you're baiting your hook for one type of person, right? So when you cover all of these, you're kind of baiting your hook for everybody. And you need the movers and the shakers. You need the people who get it done. You need, the people who are the warm hug people, and you need the slow and steady people too to build a healthy team. So number 1 is fun. So many people join a business like this because they just want to have a good time. They have a stressful real job, or they're a stay-at-home mom, which is so stressful if you've ever done it. And they just want to have a little bit of fun. So be sure that you speak to fun in some way in your opportunity share. Income. And income I'd be very, very careful with, because a lot of money is a relative term. A little bit of money is a relative term. So I don't put dollar figures on things. I talk about extra money. I call that shoe money, part-time money, and I don't put a dollar figure on that, because part-time money for me might be $1,500 a month. That's full-time income for somebody working at $10 an hour, right? So it depends on where they're coming from. You see that? So part-time money or full-time or executive level income, however you want to phrase it, but I stay away from numbers because I want their imagination to run wild. And $500 might be a lot of money to them. $500 might not be worth getting out of bed for. So I don't want to undershoot the mark and fail to spark them because I shot too low. Recognition. We love it, y'all, especially girls. We really, really love it. We're very recognition oriented because we are externally validated for the most part. And we typically pick roles that you don't get a lot of validation. Teacher, nurse, mom, administrative professional, things like that we don't get a lot of validation. And so something like this, where we announce your name on a call and, you're getting patted on the back and everybody's making a big deal out of you, that is huge to people. So if it's not huge to you, that's okay. But know that it could be huge to somebody else. And again, this isn't about why you joined, right? It's about why they may join. So we have to remember that. We have to bear that in mind. Friendships and belonging. This is the one people will stay for this longer than anything else. So speak about it. When you come to our retreat, you're going to leave there with lifelong friends. Make sure you talk about that, because that's going to spark somebody. Flexibility. Everybody needs a little flexibility, whether they're a college student, whether they're, a busy mom, whether they're, a CEO, whatever they do, everybody needs a little bit of flexibility. And I know when I was in college, direct selling was fantastic because I could go in an hour and make what it would take me 8 hours. And then I had time to study. I mean, it was a fantastic, fantastic business for me. So everybody, regardless of where they are in their life, needs a little bit of flexibility. Don't forget and retirees and miss out on retirees. They need something fun to do too. They love to mentor others. They love to give back. They love to be around younger people. There's something in this business for everybody. Personal growth is the one that most people never see coming. It's great for you to share a little bit, that you step outside your comfort zone, that, and I mean, I can honestly say when I started my business 25 years ago, the thought of standing in front of 4 people, 8 eyeballs, was enough to make me faint. And the growth that I've experienced, that's a great thing to throw out to them. Helping others, making a difference. We did our autism fundraiser, and you'll see lots of things like that throughout the year. Plus helping people look better, save money, feel better, accessorize, feel confident, all those things. Achievement, boy, you're achievement people. This business is like is like the Olympics, and you can take home a gold medal, right? It's really fun for people who are achievement oriented. And then finally, products. And I put product last. I believe that product passion is integral to their success, which is why I always say help them fall in love with product first. But I put product last because liking the product isn't a reason to sign up. Loving the product and wanting to share it with others is a reason to sign up. And so you'll see companies that kit clerk. And kit clerking is, well, why don't you just get the $49 kit? Because for $49, you get $100 worth of product. It's a better deal, right? Oh my gosh, it makes me want to beat my head into a wall. Don't do that. That's a hostess and a client. That's not a consultant. That's not a conversation that we have with people. And it's really, really commonplace in the industry. So if you're taking notes, right, no kit clerking. All right. So let's talk about your opportunity share. I'm going to walk through a couple. This is totally about style. You may roll your eyes at some of these, but I promise you they're working great for somebody. One is a dream bag, and you just put items in there that represent those 9 different reasons, right? And this is actually one that I used for years. I would pass the bag around, see what they pulled out, and I would have them guess what it had to do with my business. Like I would, for money, I would put a cut up credit card in there. And I would say, what does that have to do with my business? And they would say, you take credit cards. And I would say, I do take credit cards. But more than that, I paid off $11,000 in credit card debt part-time with my business, right? Whose attention do I have? Everybody, because everybody has credit card debt. Most people, there's a minority. We actually don't in our family because we did and we learned. We don't do it anymore. So that's a great, easy one. You don't have to remember anything. They're your cue cards. You ask them to guess, and then you just have a little sentence that you say about each one. And it's really fascinating to see what people pull out. So if I were doing that one, I might do a tiara for recognition. Dakota's like, oh my gosh, she's killing me here. Okay, Dakota, we'll come up with something. You're going to love envelopes, Dakota. So I might put a crown in there, and for personal growth, I might put a butterfly because we all know about the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, the chrysalis, and emerging, changing. There's some great things that you can put in there. And I used to use a little stuffed butterfly that was my daughter's. Like it doesn't even have to be anything great looking. It was just cute, and that's easy, and it's low threat, and you don't have a speech to remember. All right. So Dakota says he likes to be recognized, but I don't see in a tiara, my friend. But if you want one, I'll get you one. So envelopes is different. So dream bag is maybe more for my personality, a little high energy, a little fun, a little party-esque, right? Envelope might be for somebody who's a little more introverted, who's a little more facts and figures. And so envelope questions, you basically have 9 questions that refer to the 9 reasons that people join. You give everybody an envelope when they walk in, and they open and read the question, right? And you answer it. Very, very easy, but it's a little more controlled and a little less carnival-esque, right? If that's more your style there. And I can actually have those questions for you. Those will be in your resources co-located with this webinar. The ticket game. Now, this is one lots of people use. It doesn't work for me. I think I don't love it, but I've seen people have great success. And so the ticket game is you say, all right, I've got 5 tickets for our hostess, and you can earn a ticket by asking me something about my business. The rules are it has to be about my business, and then you get a ticket, and then we're going to draw at the end for a small prize, right? If nobody asks any questions, the hostess gets it. But usually people will ask questions, and you'll spend three minutes or so answering some different questions, floating it out there, right? Getting these key elements in, and then it gives you an idea of who to follow up with, particularly the person asking the most questions. The person who asked the most questions and the person who didn't say anything. Those are the 2 you need to go to, because the person who's asking the questions is doing all the talking, but the quiet one in the corner is doing all the listening and all the thinking. So those are 3 great ways to do it that aren't threatening. You don't have to memorize a big long speech or anything. None of those are a big long speech. They're very short Q&A things. So you really have to find your style, what works for you. iStory is more of a speech. That may be your style, and I'll just tell you, we'll do more work on iStory in the future, but your iStory isn't about right? Your iStory is about them and what the business can do, and so it has to resonate. So I might say, and I can only share my story with being a mom. I mean, I could do my college student story, but I might say, as a stay-at-home mom, it was so wonderful to still be able to, contribute financially to my household, to be there when my daughter got up in the morning, to be there when she got home in the afternoon, to be cookie mom and chaperone field trips, but also, to be able to run a business and to earn trips and to drive free cars and all the things that I got to do through my business, right? So if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're looking for a little bit of extra money, or you'd like a significant amount, you missed the earning opportunity that you had before you decided to stay home, I'd love to send you home with a little bit of information. Just that's an iStory. And it's not about me and it's not about tooting your own horn. It is about finding out who might be like you out there. If I was with a younger group, I would say when I was in college, I found my first direct selling business, and I found that I could in an hour make as much money as I could make in 8 hours, which left me plenty of time for studying and who am I getting partying, because I found my direct selling business. That would be the iStory I would share if I was there with a bunch of 20-year-olds, right? We have to vary it because it has to be about them. Does that make sense? So find your style. We can play around with these.